Sea Turtles by Gail Gibbons. Sea turtles live in warm ocean waters. They are in the family of air-breathing reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded and have scaly skin. So sea turtles do not breathe underwater. They have to come up to the surface to get air. The first sea turtles lived about 200 million years ago. Dinosaurs still roam the earth. Not long ago, paleontologists found a fossil skeleton of one of these prehistoric creatures. They named it Archelon. Archelon was so big that if it were still alive today, a car could park between its flippers. So just like dinosaurs used to live a long time ago, some kinds of sea turtles used to live a long time ago, but they were really big. So they said like this part in between its feet would have been as big as a car. That's pretty cool. Over millions of years, sea turtles evolved to become smaller and smaller. Today, they are among the oldest surviving creatures in the world. Almost every sea turtle has a shell that is hard and bony for protection. The shell has two parts. The top is called the carapace. Can you say that? Carapace. The bottom is called the plastron. Everybody say plastron. They are connected by bony bridges. Large scales called scutes cover the carapace. So these little things on the top of the turtle's shells, they look like they're scales, like a fish would have, but we actually call them scutes. Everybody say scutes. So next time you see a turtle and you look at their shell, you can say, oh, look at the scutes. And people will think you're very smart for knowing that vocabulary word. A sea turtle has strong flippers it uses like paddles. The front flippers make the sea turtle a powerful swimmer. Some can even swim as fast as 20 miles an hour. That's 4 times faster than a human can swim. So if you and a sea turtle got into a swimming race, who would win? The sea turtle. The back flippers are used for turning and stopping. So these big front flippers, that's like the power to make them go fast. And then they use these back flippers, they kind of turn them like this in the water to steer them. A sea turtle has sharp senses. It has special hearing organs in its head just behind its eyes. So you can't actually see the sea turtle's ears because they're covered and they're inside their head. Are your ears inside your head or outside your head? You have parts that stick off the sides, right? Like bunnies have ears that stick off the sides. Dogs have ears that stick off the sides. Not sea turtles. Their ears are hidden under their scales. But it's behind their eyes. They're really small. You can't see them. A sea turtle's sense of smell is well developed too. So that means it can smell from really far away. And it can see far away underwater. Sometimes a sea turtle looks like it's crying. But it isn't because it's sad. The tears are how a sea turtle gets rid of some of the sea salt it absorbs from the sea water. Most turtles are able to pull their heads, feet, and tails inside their shells for protection, but sea turtles can't. Their eyes and ears must always be on the alert. Okay? So a sea turtle's shell, guys, is really small on the bottom. They can't pull their legs and their flippers in and their head in like some of the land turtles. There are 8 kinds of sea turtles. How many kinds of sea turtles? 8 kinds. We got to remember that. 7 of them have really hard shells. The Kemp's Ridley and the Olive Ridley sea turtles are the smallest. They can be about 2 feet long and weigh 100 pounds. So that's still bigger than you, even though they're the smallest ones. The Kemp's Ridley is gray and the Olive Ridley is more green. Next in size is the Hawksbill sea turtle. This one will be about 3 feet long, and it usually weighs about 100 pounds. It is called the Hawksbill sea turtle because its upper jaw, that's this part right here, hooks down over the lower jaw like a hawk's bill. Do you see that? How it kind of pokes over like a bird beak? Okay, let's learn about 2 more kinds. The Australian flatback sea turtle and the black sea turtle are a little bit over 3 feet long. The Australian flatback sea turtle is found in the waters around, where do you think if it's Australian? The waters by Australia. The black sea turtle is sometimes called the East Pacific green sea turtle. That's confusing that it has 2 names. Okay, the green sea turtle and the loggerhead sea turtle are about the same size. They are usually 3 to 5 feet long and weigh about 400 pounds. The green turtle gets its name because of the color of the fat found in its flesh. Oh, so it's got green fat on it. This is because the green turtle's diet is mostly made up of seagrass, so they like to eat the seagrass. It is the only sea turtle that is a vegetarian. What does it mean if you're a vegetarian? That means you only eat plants, so it only eats plants. And here's the loggerhead. The loggerhead sea turtle. This is an important one because that's the one that we see a lot on Carolina Beach and Wrightsville Beach. The loggerhead sea turtle looks a little bit different than the green turtle. It has a thicker neck and a bigger head. Also, the loggerhead has 5 scutes on each side of its shell instead of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they're right. And 2 nails on its front flipper instead of 1. Oh, that's cool. See, the green turtle just has 1 nail, and the sea turtle has 2. The loggerhead has 2. All right, are you ready for the biggest one? Do you know what the biggest one's called? The leatherback is the biggest of all sea turtles. It can be about 7 feet long and can weigh over 1,000 pounds. It is the only sea turtle without a hard shell. 7 ridges go down its leathery back. The leatherback is the deepest diver of all the sea turtles. It can go as deep as 1,300 feet. That's 1,300 feet deep in the ocean. Can you swim that far down? No, definitely not. Sea turtles don't have teeth. They bite and tear their food with their strong jaws. Sea turtles don't have teeth. Oh, that's interesting. I thought they had teeth. They bite and tear their food with their strong jaws. They swallow their food whole. Oh, do you swallow your food whole? No, you take a bite and then you chew it up with your teeth so that you can swallow it. Sea turtles don't do that. If they eat a jellyfish, they eat the whole jellyfish, swallow it whole. Most sea turtles like to eat seaweed, fish, crabs, and jellyfish. Some sea turtles will hiss when they are scared or angry. Female sea turtles, or mama sea turtles, return to the same beach where they were born. It's the only time they ever leave their ocean home, and they go back to lay eggs. So if you're a sea turtle, once you go in the water, if you're a boy sea turtle, you go in the ocean and you never come back out of the ocean. You live your whole life in the ocean. If you're a girl sea turtle, you go in the ocean, and the only time you get out of the ocean is you go back to your beach to lay your eggs. So if you were a sea turtle born on Carolina Beach, when you grow up and it's time to lay eggs, where do you lay your eggs? Carolina Beach. They always go back to the same beach, which is really cool, and scientists like to study that. And sometimes they swim thousands of miles to go back to their beach. Okay, so it's nesting time. At night, the female sea turtle awkwardly drags herself far up on the beach. She digs a shallow pit to rest in. With her flipper, she scoops out a nesting hole. It takes about 1 hour for her to lay 100 soft, leathery eggs. They look like small white balls, like ping pong balls. A group of eggs is called a clutch. She covers them up with sand or dirt. While she is out of the water, she's in danger. She can't see well, and she moves very slowly. Enemies could attack her or her eggs. As fast as she can go, the sea turtle wriggles back to the sea where she will stay until she is ready to make another nest. Often the nests are in danger. Sometimes people or animals dig them up for food. In about 2 months, the baby turtles begin to hatch. They use a sharp egg tooth to break their shell open. It says egg tooth right there. The big tooth on the front of their bill. Usually during the night, they push themselves up through the sand and rush to the sea for protection. Even though it is dark, they know where the sea is. They move away from land toward the sea because the sky appears bright over it. So they look for the light of the sky and the moon over the ocean. So some places that have lots of sea turtles, like my aunt, she lives in Florida, and you can't turn any lights on at night because they don't want you to confuse the sea turtles and have them go towards your house lights instead of the light of the sky over the ocean. Once they're at sea, the sea turtles swim with the current and float in beds of seaweed to hide and protect themselves. They eat tiny plants and small animals called plankton. In about 2 weeks, they lose their egg tooth. They migrate, that means travel, to where adult sea turtles live. Life in the sea can be dangerous. Whales, sharks, and fish sometimes try to eat them. Only a few turtles will survive to be adults, but once they can live to be over 100 years old. So in Finding Nemo, when Crush says he's 100 and still young, that's true. Today, there are fewer sea turtles than ever before. People used to hunt sea turtles for their meat or their shells, and sometimes they even dug up the eggs for food. So many sea turtle nesting beaches have been destroyed because of people living there. So some kinds of turtles are almost gone forever or extinct. Today, many people want to help them. In many places, it is against the law to hunt sea turtles or steal their eggs. So if you go to the beach and you see where they put the nest, the Sea Turtle Project will put the nest out. They mark it. You can't touch the sea turtles. That's an important rule in the North Carolina beaches. Some organizations have turtle watches. They guard and protect the nesting areas when the female turtles come on shore. Often, sea turtles come to a beach that is developed. That means there's houses there and people there, like our beaches. In some areas, friends of the sea turtles might have to collect the eggs and move them to a safer beach or a turtle hatchery. That's a place where the turtles can be safe and hatch. It is good to protect these fascinating creatures and the oceans that they live in. Like all other ocean life, sea turtles play an important role in the balance of nature. Sea turtles remind us of Earth's long history. They have been around for millions of years. Scientists and people who care about sea turtles are always learning more about them. The difference between a sea turtle and a land turtle. A sea turtle has flippers, no claws. They can go far. They have good hearing. They cannot go inside of its shell. They are excellent swimmers. And one really good way to tell is look at their flippers. They don't have claws, and they're really big, like they'd be good for swimming. They kind of look like flippers you might put on your feet when you go scuba diving. A land turtle, okay, they don't have good hearing. There's about 250 kinds of them. They can go inside their shell. They have claws. They have webbed feet, but look, they're not quite like the flippers of the sea turtle. And they live on land and in a little bit of water. So a really good way to tell is if you look if they have claws. If they have claws, they're probably a land or land and water turtle. If they don't have claws, and then they're a sea turtle. The end.